What are we doing?
On this episode of Backyard Builds, we're going to go over
Basic hand tools.
basic tools.
Yeah. A few of you guys have asked, what's a good set of tools? Collection of tools? Just good basic tools to have to start your own project.
Yeah.
So
we've got everything laid out over here, so we'll go through it in a sec. I think one thing that we both agreed on before we started this video is your first car or your first project is going to be your most expensive.
Every time.
Every time.
Every time.
So
well, actually, no. It's going to be the hardest. The first one's going to be the hardest. It gets easier from there, but it also gets more expensive.
It's like a sliding scale of tools to do it versus parts.
And then money.
Yeah. So this one is what we'd recommend.
Having
you don't have to buy, but it's what we use most regularly. What we've got laid out is what we bought to start our trades. Yep.
They're not the most expensive tools. They're not the cheapest tools either. You get what you pay for.
Yep.
But it's just a good...
Someone told me the other day the poor man pays twice.
No, poor man still pays twice.
Yeah.
It's not like it stopped.
No.
I think I'm still paying.
Yeah, definitely still paying.
Alright.
Let's go through it.
Let's spin around. Gotta remove the flame.
They don't really mix, do they?
Ignition source. First tool as well. This is a Unimig 175. Shout out to Unimig, you've made a killer unit and it's lasted 10 years.
I run the exact same one.
And I've never actually had an issue with it. It doesn't weld upside down overly great, but it is what it is. It was a really basic unit at the time. It is still a very basic unit. I made the trolley for it. You need to sell the trolley.
It's a really good welding project, isn't it?
Yeah, that was something I did. That was like the first thing I made with it was a trolley to put it on.
A trolley for your welder.
Yeah. It does gas and gasless. It's obviously set up for gas at the moment, as you guys can see. You can get your bottles from Bunnings now, even.
Yeah.
Total Tools, City Tools, any sort of tool shop nowadays does a rental style. Buy a bottle, yeah.
We'd probably recommend going the buy a bottle over the renting.
Yeah, I do a lot more welding, so the renting works out better for me. But
Saxon, for instance, doesn't do much at home, or does a lot at home.
He does a lot at home, but he's got
MIG especially. He doesn't do much of, so he buys the bottle instead of the ring.
Yeah.
So the 175 is actually the exact same as I've got. So it's a 3-in-1 unit.
Yeah.
So
stick
MIG and what they call a lift TIG. So it's actually a scratch start TIG. So you've actually got to make contact with the electrode.
Yep.
It'll get you through welding mild steel and stainless. Up until like 3 months ago, that's all I used at home.
This one, I think they still do it. You can option it up to set up a spool gun in it.
Yeah, so you can run aluminium spool gun.
Aluminium MIG. Aluminium MIG is not the best, but if it's what you've got, it works. I used it at work. It is okay.
Yeah. So obviously there's going to be stuff that goes with it, so we'll go into that in a bit.
Well, we may as well stick with the weld in. You're going to need a helmet. You're never going to weld. You're never going to weld blind, or you're going to be blind.
Yeah. If you haven't experienced welder's flash,
even if you've ever had a bad sunburn, that's what it's like welding in a shirt.
Welder's flash is like sunburn in your eyes. You may as well.
Welder's flash is like getting sand kicked in your eyes.
Yeah. Go down to your local beach, grab a big old handful, and just bang,
get it in there,
and then just keep rubbing and rubbing and rubbing until it's red raw.
It's not great.
No.
But there's obviously going to be a difference. Like we said a second ago, you get what you pay for. This was a Unimig helmet again. I bought it when I was a second year. I think at the time I paid about 160, 180 bucks, give or take.
Sometimes you can get deals where you get your welder.
Yeah, you get like a package deal.
A welder, a roll of wire, a pair of gloves, a regulator, and a helmet.
Shop around, because you never know what you're going to find. So this is really basic. It's actually, this helmet's had a hard life, but like I said, it was my work helmet. Can you read it? So it's got shade, sensitivity, and delay. Shade is just how dark it is once it's on. sensitivity is how fast it goes from
green to black.
Black, yeah, that's the best way. And the delay is how long it takes. Pretty simple.
So your cheaper helmets are going to have like a green screen to black, whereas now you can get things like this E-Sub Sentinel.
Yeah, this is my A50. This is my actual work helmet now. Screen size is about the same, but if I can get in there, it's got a digital display. It has, I can set memories in there. If it'll, there it goes. So I can have different settings for different things I'm welding.
Even grinding applications, you can use the same helmet.
Yeah, it has an external button to turn on to grind. But it has a yellow lens in it. It just gives a more true colour, they say.
Yeah.
And I definitely notice it, especially wearing it all day most of the time. Your eyes don't focus out as well, whereas this, it's almost the same.
One thing I will note for you guys who are like me that are less vision savvy, like I wear glasses.
Visually impaired, they would say.
I am visually impaired. They do actually make like a little slide in, so you can get prescription slide-ins for your helmet, so you don't have to run glasses.
Yeah, I believe it just changes that inner one.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got a massively.
Everything else stays the same.
I've got a massively fat head and pretty wide glasses.
Do you?
So
No.
for me to get a helmet, this thing doesn't really fit my head.
Yeah. Look, if Zach was to put that on and I was to put it on straight after, it's like wearing a baseball cap all the way out. It's like it just flops around on there.
Yeah. If I buy a fitted cap, it's 8 inches. Let's put it that way. So for me to get a helmet that actually fits with my glasses and my head simultaneously is extremely hard. The Sentinel does do it, and I run a 9100 XX speed glass, which I've had since my first week of my apprenticeship.
You can see the width difference in them. Like, it'll fit a bigger head.
The other thing is you can also get respirators for these. So
they do exactly that. It's like a.
It's a positive flow.
It's a soft feed kit.
Yeah.
Like Zach said, it's positive flow, so it actually pushes cold air into your helmet. There is vents in it, but they're external exit only, I believe.
Yeah.
Breathe it out and it pushes out. It's like a scuba mask, essentially.
Yeah. So if you were to go and weld aluminium all day on a spool gun, I would probably recommend that you go and get a vented helmet, or if you're going to go weld gal posts,
would be the best one. If you're going to do gal all day, get the right helmet.
I know that.
Wear a respirator.
I know that we've said like welding flash is no good, but gal poisoning is just as bad.
Oh, yeah.
You will literally go from wanting to spew to not wanting to spew, and then from like fever to absolutely like boiling and wanting to take your clothes off.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do is like find a bit of carpet and tile and just roll between the two.
Yeah. These helmets are more expensive too. I think a speed glass these days is still around the $600-700 mark.
Yeah.
They can go up from there. If you buy the speed glass with respirator,
they're about $1,300.
No, they're more than that. They're about $2,500 last I heard. ESAB's version retails about $1,900 to $1,500. Again, shop around.
It all depends what you want to spend.
If you just want the basic helmet.
At the end of the day, for doing small rust repair, panel repair, the Unimig is going to get you out of trouble.
Yeah, there are cheaper versions. There's the old stack hat versions. You can pick them up for $40. They do.
What he means by stack hat is it's got the little lens in front that you flip down and flip up.
She's a manual.
We have tradesmen that we like still know that still weld with those every day.
Again, like I said, you're going to get what you pay for. If you're doing it all day, spend the money. What next?
All right.
Oh, the other thing we should mention with a welder, just to touch on,
is most of them are 15 amp.
Yeah, and by 15 amp, it's a bigger earth pin.
So you may need to get a second circuit put in your shed.
Yeah, or this is not recommended. We don't endorse this, but it's happening.
It happens on sites.
This is a 10 amp. This was actually a 15 amp lead that I bought. Not that you can see it there. It has the correct size plug, female plug. As you can see, the pin for the earth is the same size.
Yep.
What I did was I bought a 10 amp male socket. As you can see, that earth pin
is loosey-goosey.
Is loose in there. But
it gets you out of a bind.
If you can't afford an electrician,
we recommend it. Obviously, it creates earth issues and gets a lot of heat in that power point in that circuit.
You may trip your circuit more often. That's about it.
You've done it here a couple times.
Yeah, but at the same time, we've also got multiple machines going. But that's just something you're definitely going to need a lead, whether you upgrade your plugs in your shed or do it the dodgy way and get a lead like that. But anyway,
probably get an electrician to make one of them if you're going to do that.
Preferable.
Here at Backyard Builds, we are not trained professionals.
I do as we do sometimes.
So now you've welded, you're going to want to grind it.
So again, this is just your Makita grinder. These are 95 bucks, 120, you know, they're about that $100 mark.
So we opt for 5-inch over 4.
This is actually a 4.5.
Okay.
But it doesn't make a difference because the thread size is the same. I think I just bought this because it was cheaper.
It makes a difference if Nick gets a hold of you and tells you that it should have a guard on it.
If you really want to know the part numbers, guys, from these Makitas,
what we're going to actually do is link.
We'll try and link as much as we can. It's an N555H. It's a 9555HN, sorry, as opposed to that. So go the 125. A bit more grunt, you know. What's that? 710 watt. Oh, the 4.5 is actually 840 watt.
Yeah.
It's going to do the same job. You're not going to notice that much of a difference in the wattage, honestly, unless you're jumping up to a 7 or an 8-inch grinder.
The other thing that you can get in those grinders are variable speed. So
yeah, yours is variable speed, isn't it?
No.
Oh.
I paid that much and I didn't get a variable speed. Yeah.
$400 grinder.
Let's not talk about that right now.
Bought 5 grinders for that price, mate.
I was young. So
you've done your grinding. You've got a grinder. You need stuff to put on it.
It's going to come with a set of grinding nuts, and by nuts we mean the top and bottom nut, which Tom will have a set here.
I've got multiple sets. I've gone through many grinders. Don't be disheartened if you blow a grinder up. That is your lower nut. It has a locking tab.
That's your top nut.
That's your top nut.
So they will also come with a spanner, and we've never actually used spanners.
Not here. Definitely have spanner available somewhere.
Have spanners available because sometimes they do get tight.
They do break. You should run a guard. We've been told we don't run a guard.
Thanks, Nick. Shout out to Nick.
Move on with your life.
Tom said that, not me.
You're going to need a spanner at some point. You'll eventually get one caught and you need to get it undone.
Yeah, if it grabs an edge, it will go real tight real quick.
Yep. Most of the time there's holes in your locking nut. If that doesn't work, I'll give you another little tip, because sometimes you can't get the holes to line up on the grinder. If you can't, you can put it in one hole and on the lip of the nut.
Yeah, so if you've had an old 4-inch grinder and you've still got the spanner for it and you can't find your 5,
yep,
that's the way.
That will work. Worst case is you get a hammer and chisel and you can smash it off. And I have had to do that before and it was tight.
You buy new nuts at that point.
No, we kept running them.
Okay. So to go over consumables, we have cutting discs. So me and Tom both prefer 1mm discs. So they're actually 1mm thick. They're ultra thin. You gonna open them?
Yeah.
You open them, I'll go through the next stuff. Flappy wheels. So what they are is just a sandpaper abrasive. Really good for smoothing out welds on uneven surfaces. The next one is not necessary, but a backing pad, and then sanding discs. So they're just discs of sandpaper, backing pad on, nut in, tighten her up. Yeah, when we started, these weren't as commonly available from hardware stores, but I have definitely noticed in the last 5-6 years, much more
a lot easier to get.
Yeah,
they're not the cheapest option. You can pay nearly $3 a disc. Yeah, but
there's ones there that I use that are $6 a disc. They're the 3M 36s.
Yeah.
So they're a 36 plus grit. They can be very expensive. Next one is a strip it disc. So you've seen us use them before. So that real coarse
that rust off
material. And then the old faithful wire wheel.
That's a brass wire wheel.
So the bristles are made out of brass. Yep. You can also get stainless. And then just like,
so that's just like a cup wire wheel from Josco.
Different shapes, different profiles.
Yep. That's another steel wire. That is a steel wire wheel.
Yep.
Wear an apron if you're using these. Protective clothing.
Yeah, they do have a habit. I would recommend a face shield.
Yep.
Or your welding helmet again.
Yeah, welding helmet.
And as Tom said, an apron. They do spit a lot of little needles.
That's that one we're just talking about.
So yeah, as you can see, ultra thin, really easy to get into spots. The other thing that probably mention is, if you think the disc is done, don't throw it out just yet.
If the disc is bent, throw it out, because it will blow up.
If the disc is bent, throw it out.
If you've got a really gnarly chip in the disc,
but if you've used the disc and it's down to this big, I'd recommend keeping it. So these are some used ones here, so you can see the size difference in them. You will go through them.
Yep.
But what that means is that you can get into tight spots with the smaller ones.
Yep.
Unless it's touching the nut, it's not done. Hey, Tom.
That's it. Get maximum life out of your gear, guys.
Yeah. So that's what we recommend to get for your grinder. Next thing would be just a set of files, cheap set.
This is a cheap set.
Bunnings tool section has most of this stuff.
There's all this stuff. That's just a craft right set of files.
Where this come from today? We went there today.
Half moon, bastard, round. There number 2 finishing file. You can get coarser, you can get finer again.
But your basic set you're going to buy is going to probably do you.
Yeah, so that's just a bigger file again.
Good for cleaning stuff up. We haven't got full sets out here because we don't need full sets of things. Tape measure, very important.
Oh, go and get yourself a good tape measure.
Don't buy the $10 tape measures. Don't buy them. Hold that for a sec, I'll show you something. So all tape measures, when they're made, they have movement here. The really cheap ones have movement here.
Yeah.
Like, the tighter this is, the better it's going to be. So that is compensation for if you're measuring outside or measuring inside.
It's normally about a mil worth of travel.
The tighter they are, the better the tape's going to be.
Yeah. If you're going to go buy tape, guys,
we recommend Fat Maxes.
Fat Max. Go get a fatty. Get a 10, an 8, and a 5, the 3s.
I tidied the shed up the other day and I found 5 8s.
I bought another 10 the other day because I busted me work one.
Yeah. Alright.
We're on the section of rulers.
Yep.
The measuring devices. A good steel ruler.
Yeah, so they come, I'd recommend buying a 150.
Hold on, we can do all of them. That's a metre. I've actually lost my 150, but that's another 150 for reference. Oh, hang on, flip that over. We'll show them what's going on with that in a second.
So a 150 rule, really good, easy to have in your pocket.
Yep.
Shout out to Nick, he always carries one.
Always gone.
300mm, most common size.
Yep. With this 300mm,
flip over.
It has 0 in the center. It's not like a metric and imperial. It's metric both sides, but it has a center measurement
for dividing.
Yep. So if you need to measure out evenly off both sides, and we use this all the time.
Yep.
Awesome to have.
Then a 600. I think you can get an 800 too.
You can even do a 400 these days. But if you notice one thing with all these rulers, brand.
Yeah.
They are all Toledo's.
Yeah.
Best rulers out. I find them really nice personally because they do have 1/4 millimeter marks on them, 1/2 millimeter marks, sorry. So I like that. I'm about to get nice and close to stuff to measure out. Pass that back to you, champ.
No worries. While we're on the case of measuring, these aren't necessary, but we would recommend it. A set of verniers. They don't have to be digital, they can be manual readouts. There's lots of really good videos on how to read.
Every set of verniers comes with instructions. It's in there.
How to read them.
Yeah.
Like
it's
having
not hard.
Having the ability to be able to measure a hole correctly is pretty critical.
Not correctly, accurately.
Accurately. Well, correctly is good as well, but like especially for like tapped holes and stuff like that, you need to sort of check it's going to be good.
Another thing to have is just a slide square, combination square.
Yep.
You see us use it for marking out. It's as simple as that. Slide it, off you go.
See us using it for checking square and stuff as well. I've also got an engineering square.
Yeah, I've got all those as well.
It's not necessary. That will get you.
This will start you off.
Good enough. Next one's going to be an obvious one. Screwdrivers. Just a good old cheap set of flat Phillips. A lot of old stuff you're going to find has flathead screws. Absolute pain in the ass to get out. Yep. Whoever decided flathead screws were a good idea needs a swift kick.
Marking out, center punch.
Yep.
Not totally necessary for cars, but sometimes if you need to drill a bolt out, you got to snap a bolt off, whatever.
Yeah, center punches are good. You can also probably easy outs, but
they're a bit more specialised. But center punch.
we're gonna probably do another video on a specialised.
Oh, there'll be a specialised tool section.
Hammers. Panel beating hammer.
More expensive.
Again, Toledo. Doesn't say it anymore, but that's the brand of it.
Yep, that hammer's 10 years old. I use it all the time. It's my favourite.
Get yourself a good one.
If you can't get a good one,
These kits are great.
This is like a panel beating kit. I don't know where I come across it, but there's actually a hammer missing.
Comes with 3 hammers and 4 little dollies.
3 couple of dollies. Yep.
They aren't the best quality dollies. They aren't the best quality hammers, but they will get you within the realm.
They're not always the best. You can see the size difference straight up.
They'll get you in the realm of skimming with bog.
Yeah. Always useful. Go buy a cross peen hammer.
Keep an eye out at swap meets for this sort of stuff too. Like, you don't need to buy brand new stuff.
No, I don't think I've bought new in a long time.
No.
Go buy a cross peen hammer. It's just a good all-purpose hammer. Handy to have.
Tom loves this thing.
And if you haven't got access to anything else, a claw hammer will still do it.
Yeah.
Everything I do with this, I can still do with that.
Yeah. A lot of mechanics I know still have a claw hammer in their toolbox.
Oh man.
And it's not for putting in nails.
I'm not a carpenter, let's put it that way. Right. That's an E-swing hammer.
You don't have to buy the expensive one.
There's definitely cheaper out there.
Here, I'll give you that. So next up, tin snips. So a left and a right pair. You don't need to get a left and a right pair. It is handy to have, but. So what we mean by left and rights is you can actually see them. So this one cuts down and the waste will be coming off this side. This pair cuts the other way and the waste will be coming off to the right.
Yep.
So really good for getting into corners and stuff. It is good to have both left and right. You can also get straights.
Yep. And just with that set, they're Midwest. I recommend if you're going to buy a set of snips, the word was there somewhere. Spend some decent money on a set of snips because
there's stuff here that you can go absolutely cheap to town on, and there's stuff here that you better just.
There's a really nasty set here. That was bought as a first year. They're the straights. I think they were like $15.
Yeah.
Also, middle of the road. That's a Sid Chrome set that I've got. They're a bit flogged out. But if you want a decent set of snips, we recommend Midwest. That's something we recommend spending a little bit of money on if you're doing sheet metal work.
Yep. Pliers. Yep. So needle nose, pointy nose,
long nose, however you want to say it. It's the same thing.
Standard set of pliers.
Stub nose. I suppose to that we could add a set of side cutters.
Yeah. So really good for cutting your wire on your MIG. Cutting electrical
most of the time
wires.
You buy these in sets too. It'll come as a set of 3.
Yeah.
So you're set. Anyway, moving on.
Not necessary, but if you're going to get into old cars, especially like Valiants, Falcons, Holdens, they are going to have electrical gremlins.
Oh yeah. You're going to be doing wiring at some point.
You're going to be doing wiring.
And while you can do it with, your pliers and such.
These have strippers in them.
Strippers, crimpers, cutters. And stuff and for gauging sizes.
Yeah.
I don't even know what all these are for.
Yeah. They're a cheap set. You can get them anywhere.
Yeah.
Electrical, multimeter.
Yeah.
I only know one function on it. I don't know about you.
I normally it's just 20 volts. Because everything we play with is less than.
But you can check for continuity and shorts in circuits that way.
We're not electricians.
I let the smoke out all the time.
Maybe before that.
Talking about smoke coming out of things.
So, look, this is the second set I had.
Drill driver combo.
Yep.
So,
everyone knows what a drill is, blah, blah, blah.
Probably pick one brand and stick with it.
Yeah, you'll stick with it for the rest of your life. Don't have to buy the top of the line one.
No, Tom loves DeWalt.
Yeah, it's just, I've always had it. I find it better. It is what it is.
Vary between Metabo and Milwaukee.
Yep.
The Milwaukee has a bigger range of skins. It all depends what you want to do later on.
Makita's bigger again, but we're not here to discuss brands. This is the set that I have.
You can generally buy them as a set. It comes with a charger and a battery.
This was a set, exactly right. Everyone knows what a drill is, speed, blah blah blah. Drills are easy. Drivers are a little bit new to the home handyman
game. So these normally take like a Phillips head or a flathead or a roofing screw driver bit.
It's a 1/4 bit for those playing at home.
So what we've got here is actually a 1/2 inch drive adapter.
Yep.
So that means you can put your sockets on. It makes undoing bolts and nuts a whole heap quicker.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of an impact. Well, it is an impact driver, but it's not going to have the same torque as an impact gun.
Yep.
You're not going to do wheel nuts up with it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be doing them up and then just driving away. I'd be checking. But anyway,
yeah,
these do snap if you use them as half. I've had them snap at the base here all the time.
Yeah.
But again, sometimes you might want to do that pesky little screw.
Yeah.
And off you go.
So you got your drill. You're going to need things to go in it. We recommend a step drill is always handy to have in the shed. This
is a pretty extreme example. This goes from like 4mm up to 30.
Yeah.
You can get smaller. Most of the time you buy them in a kit too. You can get like a pack of 3.
Total Tools do them. They do a Detroit brand one. We've used the Detroit ones before in 2mm stainless, and we've punched 30 to 40 holes before it's gone no thank you anymore. You can also get them in a hex drive, so it can go in your screw gun. So you can have your step drill in your screw gun, and your normal drills in your drill. Spot weld drill.
Spot weld drill, you've seen us use this a million times.
So flat with a little tang in the center of it. Center pop your spot weld, get it in there.
You might have to go to a more specialised tool store. You will not get this at Bunnings.
No.
You'll get it
at Total Tools.
And Sydney Tools and the likes. But you may need to shop around for that one. But very handy for sheet metal. And then of course,
standard set of high speed drill bits. There are some missing.
They're broken.
They snap, they go blunt.
It's not the end of the world. Drill bits are fairly cheap, fairly common.
Saxon's the sharpening king. Not us. So we'll come back over here quickly to this tool pro set.
Say you've drilled your hole, you want to put a bolt in there.
Got a tap and die set.
And this is
Tool Pro, which is from Super Cheap. Shout out to Tool Pro if you want to, come on board.
It's basic. It's got the most common sizes. It's got a chart.
It's really good for cleaning out threads. So you've seen us before where we have a part that we've recently bought. We'll run a tap through it. We generally run it through on the drill, but
which is not the worst thing to do. No. But if you're going to do it, lube. Lube never hurt anyone.
No.
You can get that. You can get that at Total Tools, stuff like that. There is other versions of cutting compound around. Chop around, find whatever works best for you. We recommend this. Treflex. The magic cutting compound.
Before we get too much further down here, we're going to go into a little bit of safety. Muffs. So obviously for hearing protection, got a set of plugs in my pocket still, but there's there.
I just got a cheap set of plugs, a whole bag of plugs.
Safety glasses. Buy a couple sets. They do get scratched, they do get worn.
Buy a shaded pair. Buy your speed dealers.
Buy Saxon Specials.
If you're oxy cutting and working outside, worth it.
Even if there's 2 of you in the shed at the time and one of you is welding, I would recommend putting on those. Any protection is better than no protection. Don't look straight at the welder, but you still get
look to the side of it.
You still get welders flashing your peripheral. Marking out.
Pens and texters.
I don't have a scribe. Here at Backyard Builds, we recommend and use Sharpie markers. I picked up a couple packets of them the other day. I think they were 24 packs and they were less than $20.
I think Jen got me a pack of 10. It was like $1.
Costco have them real cheap.
Buy them. We've got stacks of. I have a whole. Doesn't matter what you're marking in, as long as you can see it.
I did a job with Dad the other day and he said, how many texts did you have? I kept pulling them out of my pocket.
You're going to lose them, you're going to use them.
They go through the washing machine as well. They're not very good after that point.
Definitely not.
Okay.
You got to clean up your wrong marking some days.
Thinners normally takes stuff off like bad paint, whatever else. It's always handy just to have a multi-purpose in the shed. The other one we don't have is a wax and grease. So as you can see, it's Digger's brand, which
You
is
buy that from
Bunnings.
Woolworths, Bunnings, yeah. You're going to get it everywhere.
Wax and grease remover is really good for wiping down panels before you go and put on your edge primer.
But if you're doing aluminium, get some acetone.
Yeah, we always clean up with acetone before we weld aluminium. The other one you probably would want is brake cleaner. Doesn't have to be anything special, as you can see.
Super cheap Auto's finest. Brake cleaner.
Brake cleaner.
It works, does the job. What are you using brake cleaner?
Degreaser as well.
Degreaser. Same thing.
Most cars that you're going to be playing with have been on the road for many years.
Most cars. Every single car we've got, we've come out and we're like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving on.
Sockets.
Oh, did you mention the weld through?
I didn't. It's not necessary, but if you're going to do panel work, it's better to protect your investment now.
May as well.
While you can get in
originally.
It is expensive. It is more specialised. Like, you do have to go to a paint shop. It's about 27 bucks a can.
Yeah, I was going to say about 30 bucks a can. Yep.
Depends where you go.
It gets cheaper, it gets more expensive.
Comes in copper and grey. Comes in a few, but it's weld through.
Better.
It does, yeah.
Copper welds better every time.
Yeah. I ended up with grey stuff the other day.
Yeah. Sockets.
2 rows.
Long tube. Short. Metric, imperial.
There should be a set of black ones here, but
oh, there's a couple of black ones.
You don't have to buy impact sockets unless you're going full tilt on the gun.
Which most of the time we are.
But
there's no shortage of ugga-duggas here.
Tom has snapped a few sockets in his day.
Yeah, there's an odd one in my set here. They break. Get over it.
It is what it is.
Move on. Extensions, sometimes you need to get into tricky spaces. Not exactly necessary, but if you're buying a kit these days,
it's going to come with extensions.
Yeah, normally you'll get those 3. I happen to have a shorter one again.
The other socket sets that you can get are like 1/2 inch drive, 3/8,
yeah, you
and
buy
quarter.
Yeah,
that's probably what we'd recommend over buying like rows of sockets.
Yeah, that's an expensive exercise, but like I said,
you can probably get a decent kit for about the $300 mark.
You can get decent kits, yeah. Like this kit here this is my 1/4 inch set personally. It's missing one small extension. 10 years old. Great.
Things happen when you go out to paddocks and try and pull cars. Wobbly extensions. Yeah,
wobble bars. The other thing I would say, if you're buying a socket set, most of the time they come with a spark plug socket. You can see there's a rubber
ring in there,
grip in there,
which actually grips onto the plug itself.
Yep. Same with this one again. It's just a 3/8.
And you will need them for the Victor.
Oh, you got the uni joints there.
Yep.
Same thing. It's just another variation of extension.
Just universals.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to need something to drive it, so a ratchet.
Yep. Again, they come in different sizes. Some kits these days will come with everything: 3/8, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch.
3 ratchets.
Yep.
The other thing we'd recommend is if you're going to go down this path of using one of these adapters in your screw gun, is a breaker bar. Buy a decent breaker bar. Like
it's a 600.
Yeah, it'd be about 600 mil. So that means that you can break the tension out of the bolt first.
Yep.
And then you can run it out with a gun. You're more likely going to snap it if you're going to try and undo it with that straight up.
You're never going to get it undone with that straight up.
No.
It'll just sit there and rattle and go nowhere.
Carry on.
Breaker bar, bigger sizes, muzzle bar.
Shifters are always handy.
Yeah, having a dustable, I've got a little selection. You know, I always carry some.
And then spanners.
We'll get to that one in a second.
Scotty from Carnage loves the shifters. Ratchet spanners.
Ratchet spanners, they speak for themselves. They pay for themselves. Just in saving time. There's obviously your standard old ring spanner. Open-ended ring spanner because it's open at one end, ring at the other.
Yep.
Pretty simple. Don't need to explain much on those. You can buy cheap ones. You can buy expensive ones. There's another set want to take away. It's just a Stanley set. It's got every sort of basic size.
So at our house we have many a set. We have our good set and we have cheap ones that we've picked up at swap meets.
Yeah.
Which, if you need to cut a spanner up, you're not going to go and cut
your brand new
King Chrome up.
Yeah. You're going to pick the dirtiest looking spanner and you're going to butcher it.
Yeah. We have a lot of butchered spanners.
Who doesn't?
Yeah,
I don't actually.
one's for going around injectors in trucks and everything like that.
Yeah.
So
Talking about undoing injectors and stuff. A flare spanner or
pipe spanner.
pipe spanner, yeah, there's a better name for it.
Yep. So it slips over the pipe.
Yeah, there's obviously 4 sides. You can see the difference. So it actually grabs all 6 sides technically.
Yeah.
These still slip off, but are less likely to slip off
Than that.
than that.
When you're trying to bleed up a brake or a clutch,
That's what you want.
that's what you need.
Don't put that end on.
No, because then you can't get it back off the pipe.
You back the square one.
Couple clamps, especially for welding, panel making,
Yeah.
doing stuff by yourself.
Quick grip. Pay for themselves, dirt cheap. I think you can buy them for $11 now.
F clamp.
F-clamps.
These are more expensive.
Yeah, these are just they're pretty run of the mill that size. Honestly, you probably get them at Bunnings nowadays. You'll get a slightly cheaper version. Obviously, this is a somewhat more expensive version, but again,
I've paid up to $120 for an F clamp.
you can.
C clamps.
C grips. These are Irwin's, probably the best. Well, they were the best until they stopped making them. You can still buy basic sets from Bunnings, but they don't do the more specialised ones I've got elsewhere.
They're non-footed.
Yeah, I call these a C grip with a toe. You know, it sort of looks like
Yeah.
a finger. So that's them.
And then you've got the Milwaukee like pad.
Yeah,
Or flat.
yeah, however you want to call it.
So really good for getting panels together and stuff like that.
Good for alignment. They obviously come in different sizes,
Different lengths,
long,
different sizes.
short. Probably go get yourself a set of ice grips too.
Yeah.
Long, short. I probably shouldn't show them because there's some swear words on them.
Handheld wide brush.
And a wide brush. This is my aluminium only one.
So obviously Tom has an aluminium only one, which will be stainless bristle. I'll get the word out eventually.
And then I just got another one for mild steel.
So that's for non-cross contamination into aluminium.
Correct.
Aluminium being a softer material, if you go and hit it with a steel wire brush, it'll brush whatever is on the brush and the steel
And
off
it
the
will
brush itself into,
Impregnate it into your material.
and then you start welding it and you're
And it looks like junk.
expecting like chrome dimes and you get little black spots everywhere. Yeah.
So I think that pretty much covers basic, a very general set of tools to start with.
The other one that we'd recommend is obviously a space.
You're gonna need a shed. It doesn't matter how big. You know, I've built this up.
From what it was, it was two cars at the front.
It was a 2-car garage. I've got a 1-car garage in the yard, and if that's all you've got, that's what you've got. Make use of it.
The shed at my house is pretty full, so we've only really got
also
one
not
car
yours.
space. No. No.
He makes full use of what he's got.
Thanks, Dad.
But yeah. So you don't need to spend mega bucks. Obviously, some of these tools are more expensive than what you may afford. But
Buy them in pieces.
yeah, well, that's what I did.
Put 20 bucks away a week. If you're going to go into a project car, start putting money away.
Save, yeah.
Put
But
20 bucks towards your tools, 80 bucks towards your car.
if you want to go and buy tools, go and spend, like Zach said, spend 20 bucks a week and just buy. It doesn't matter. You don't have to buy everything in one go.
Yeah.
I certainly didn't.
Yeah.
I've spent
We're still buying tools.
every day.
They're more specialised, but we are still
Yeah.
buying tools.
So we might
and there's,
do-
there's stuff on this bench that we replace. Like files, drill bits, sanding pads. We're still buying that stuff. It's not one and done. We use our stuff and it breaks.
Yeah. Same with welding helmets. Like, I've been through 3 or 4 welding helmets.
I've been through one.
I'm a tight ass. Not all of us were on the big bucks as first years.
It's not the Audi helmet, is it? For those that know, will know the reference to the Audi welding helmet.
I believe it still lives and breathes.
I think
carries on.
He's on his second one. Shout out to Saxon.
Good old sack spec.
All right.
So that's it, guys. That's your basic starter kit, I guess. Go and get into it.
And again,
Thanks for watching.
code word this week is tools.
Tools. Basic tools. We'll accept both, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever you
We've
want.
been going the 2 word.
Yeah, look, just get in. you've got to be in it to win it, mate.
Yep. We'll happily send you.
If you don't comment,
you don't have a chance to get one of the 2 sticker packs.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week.
Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because we're trying to put out a episode every week.
And buy some merch.
And
Backyard Builds merch. So
yeah, jump us over there.
all right. Thanks for watching.
See you guys.